Okay, we're going to take a look at Sentinel Visualizer. I am in a database that has a lot of information, and so I'm going to pull up an entity record. In this case, it is a person. An entity could also be a company, a location, an event, an organization. In this case, it's a person. And you can have a brief or description of the entity. There are various other tabs here, and most importantly, the Relationships tab. And so this shows in a text format the relationships that this person has with other people, places, and organizations, so that when I visualize this data, I can see that he has these relationships with other people, places, and things. Now, one of our newest features is our interface to Google Earth, where you can map out location-specific and or date-specific information. So if I use this timeliner right here, I can actually see movements around the globe of this person, and I can expand the entire timeliner to see all of the places he visited, and I can even expand it over here and click on these different locations if I wanted to drill down into those places on Google Earth. Now, back in Sentinel, we have a feature called a timeliner. So if I expand this date range, I can, as I move this bar back and forth, see how his relationships change over time with other people, places, and things, whether it's different companies that he's worked for or different people he's associated with. I can see those changes in various ways and on different scales. Now, I can also expand upon this person's social network. So if I take one of these entities and expand on his links, and maybe take another entity over here and expand on his links, I'm actually creating this expansion of social networks. When I redraw the networks, I can easily see the center hub. In this case, because I'm working in a terrorist database, the central hub is Osama bin Laden. And I can see these three networks all connected through this one hub. Now we have some features over here on the right. One is called gradients, where you can see the importance of each entity based on different kinds of ratings, who the players are within the networks, who carries the most weight, who has the most connections to other entities. So that's what our gradient tool is. We also have a shortest path tool. So if I were to choose an entity here and an entity on the other side of the network and click my shortest path button, I can see, based on this red line, how to get from one entity to the other. Who do I have to go through to get from this guy to this guy? Well, I got to go through these guys. And we also have the all paths feature, so it shows me all the different ways to get from one entity to another. And I can even filter out those entities that don't have anything to do with those paths and make it a lot easier for me to focus in on just those paths. We also have a declutter tool that allows me, again, based on different ratings, to remove entities and relationships from my network. For example, based on information credibility, as I move this bar, as I scroll up, you can see that certain entities and relationships are disappearing because perhaps they're not as credible. So at my low end of the scale, at my high end of the scale, again, if I need to, I can concentrate on only those entities and relationships with high credibility. Now, because this is a relatively large network, we also have a Navigator tool that allows me to zoom around the network as needed. If I draw a box here, I can move this box and easily navigate around the network based on wherever I wanted to go within that network. So again, that was an overview of our networks, our gradient tools, and Google Earth integration.